Okay, today we're going to talk about how to create a work in Illustrator using curved lines. Okay, one of the main things we're going to talk about is something called a Bezier curve. All right, a Bezier curve is a curve that appears to be perfect to our eyes because it's calculated using mathematical formulas. Okay, you're going to see what I mean. It'll be really smooth, much smoother than you can draw it by hand. Okay, I'm going to read all these steps to you, and then I'm going to go through and demonstrate each one. So, to create a Bezier curve, you first click to define your first anchor. Okay, that's a fancy term for point. You guys should have seen this written before a couple of times. We don't call them points anymore, we call them anchors. Okay, then you click and drag your mouse to define the second anchor. Then you can use your handles to adjust as necessary. This is something that's going to take a lot of practice, and it's going to take a lot of time to get used to. It's a little bit tricky to figure out, but once you've had enough practice, I know that you'll be okay. Okay, the next part, you hold Shift and you hover your mouse above the most recent anchor point that you made. You should see an arrow above your cursor. Then you click on the anchor. That gets rid of the extra handles, okay? And then you repeat this over and over and over. I will now demonstrate how this works. Here is your curved lines practice. Okay, I've got my layers panel right here on the right side. The first thing that you always want to do when you're tracing over something, you want to lock your first layer. Okay, I've done that already. Now I'm going to create a second layer. Here's how I like to work. All right, I really like to work with the bottom layer and then moving all the way forwards. So this big circle, the outer edge, I'm going to use that as my very first layer, and then I'm going to turn off the visibility and I'm going to move on top of that and just keep layering on. Okay, so I'm looking over here on the left-hand side. Currently my fill is white and my stroke is black. This is not great. If your fill's on, you can't see anything that you're doing. So I'm going to start by turning my fill off, and now I'm going to click on stroke. That's the empty rectangle, clicking on that. And I would like to switch it and make it something that is more visible. So I'm going to click over here. All right, I have picked a purple, and it stands up pretty well. I'm going to grab my pen tool, and my layout is set up slightly different than yours is. I'm on my computer at home, and it's slightly different than yours at school, but that's fine, okay? So remember the first we talked about, you just click to make your very first anchor point, okay? And now, I'm not clicking yet, I'm just kind of deciding where I want to put that second anchor. Clicking here, and now I'm going to drag, and you can see, okay, I'm moving my mouse around. There are these two little handles that pop out, almost like handles of a bike or handles on a scooter or something. And if you pull them, you change the shape of your curve that you're making, your Bezier curve. All right, and you want to keep pulling it until it matches the area that you have underneath. Now here's the funky thing. You see how this brand new curve is kind of like magnetically attracted to this handle? We don't want that. We want to get rid of it, okay? Because it's going to kind of mess with whatever you're doing. So you hold down Shift on your keyboard and you hover. You see how my mouse now has that little arrow key? That essentially means it's going to split that handle and get rid of it. So I'm going to click while I'm holding Shift. Boom. Okay, now I just have one handle. All right, and I can move forward. I'm going to click here and drag. I'm going to try and match this as closely as possible. Lovely. Now I'm going to repeat, Shift, click, get rid of that. I'm going to go over here. Now really with this, the fewer anchor points you have, the better your work will be. The cleaner it is, the more concise. Okay. And now I have closed my circle. It is excellent. You guys all saw the little teeny tiny loop that showed up next to my pen tool. That means that I closed it successfully. It is excellent. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pick a fill color. because why not? I love blue. My fill's going to be blue. Uh-oh. Can I see any of my other stuff that I have? No. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to call this biggest circle. And I'm going to turn the eyeball off. And I'm also going to lock it. Okay, it still exists. It's still here. Hi, it's hiding. But nothing can happen to it. I can draw on top of it. It's not a big deal. And now I can go through and I can keep making some more shapes. I am going to now focus on these beautiful little teardrop shapes. I like them. They're gorgeous. That's my next goal. Okay, teardrop. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Whoa, I can't make this one curve. Why not? What's going on? Oh, it looks like I actually should have split this up into two. Let's try that again. Okay, so I'm starting to go. Lovely. Oh no, what's going on? Why is it getting filled in? Let's take care of this over here. All right, I'm gonna turn my fill off again. I'm gonna leave my stroke at blue. I can see what's going on just fine. Okay, matching that angle and then going shift click to just keep moving forward.